What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to the Matt Corman podcast. Thank you for tuning in today. Today is going to be a great episode. It's July. It's July 9th. Shout out the 4th of July. Shout out America. That just passed. Fireworks booming through the sky. I was in Miami. Great time. Fireworks show was crazy. I'm not going to lie. I only saw a little bit of it. We went to my friend's event on the beach and kind of had home. I kind of had to head home pretty early. I'm not going to sit here and lie to you and say we're out all night partying. We weren't. Big night of pizza. I think it was pizza. Maybe it was some Pinot actually. That might have been Pinot night. Anyway, so today's episode, we're going to talk about how it's July right now. That means we're halfway through the year. Past that. And so what I like to do a lot of times, as those who may know, I like to journal, self-reflect. I definitely like to reflect on what I've done so far in the year. So that's what it's going to be. That's what this is going to be an episode of. Is I'm going to go through everything that I've done so far in the last 6 months and talk about what I'm going to do going forward. I think it's important for all of us, especially as we're building in your life, whatever you're working on, is to reflect on the last 6 months, what you've done in the last year. That way, you know if you're making any progress. You know what I'm saying? So, sit back, relax, enjoy. Probably going to talk for like 20 minutes and rant here. Thanks for tuning in. I appreciate you. So far this year, if you guys know, I've released a song every single week. My goal was to put out 52 songs this year. So far, I've released 22 songs. So far in the year, it's July 9th. There's been 28 weeks so far in this year. So I'm off by 6 weeks, but I feel like that's pretty good. I took some time off because I dropped a song with Logic, one of the biggest rappers in the world, Flex, one of my favorite artists. So I wanted to take some time and make that a special moment. So I took some time off and was like, all right, cool. I'm going to just promote this song, make it a special moment in time for me. And that's why I took the time off from those weeks. But I'm not mad about that. That was a big moment for me. One of my favorite rappers. So I wanted to try to make that a moment and make it as big as I possibly could. But since then, I've been putting out a song every week, and I'm going to continue to do so through the end of the year. That's the goal. That's my goal. I'm at 22 right now. I think I'll be able to do it. So even if I end in the 40s, I'll still be proud of myself. It'd be nice to get to 52, but since I took that time off, I don't know if I can, but I'm going to keep hammering home. I'm sure if I release a song every week, maybe I'll end up at 44 songs on the year, 46, something like that. I think it's 46 songs on the year. I'll be happy with that. That'll be the most I've ever released in my life. I hit a point this year in my career where I realized, hey, I was releasing a song since end of 2016. I put my first song on Spotify. And then 2017, I was putting out music. And in 2018, 2019, consistently. 2020, 2021, very consistent with music. And I told myself this year, hey, look, I turned 30 this year. I'm going to go as hard as I possibly can. As consistently as I can. Be as consistent as I can to try to make the most of this. And so I was like, fuck it. I'm putting out a song every week and I'm going to maintain that throughout the entire year for sure. No excuses this time. But then I made an excuse with Logic song, but it was a pretty good reason. But anyways, I've done 22. I'm satisfied with that. I'm proud of myself. I feel like I'm working hard enough where I'm keeping up with that pace. And I feel like the audience, if you're listening to this, I feel like people like the idea of being able to maybe you don't listen to my music that much, but maybe you come in and tap in and you're like, I know at least Matt's releasing a song every Friday, so I have something new to check in on. People have told me that's part of the reason why they listen to me, is because they know that there's going to be a new song. And it's something they can rely on. I want to be that reliable person for content and for music. So I feel like I've been doing a good job with that. Also, yeah, dropped a song with Logic. That was a big moment. That was like a childhood dream of mine, I could say. My first concert, one of the first concerts I ever went to was Logic, Under Pressure, at the Worcester Palladium in Massachusetts. So that was a big moment, especially in my career, being such a big fan of him. That was dope, and it made me realize, hey, you can fucking really do this. I remember when I had an I Made It moment. I was talking with Six, shout out Six, and we were in the studio, and I was like, man, I always wanted to get into the league. I always wanted to play in the majors. And he was like, bro, you're here. you made it. Like, this is the game. And it had a moment of like, oh, I'm not going to wait for anybody to tell me I'm a professional anymore. If I'm making a living off of this and I'm working with some of my idols, then I'm going to give myself the validation that, hey, I am a professional and like I'm a professional rapper now. And so I had like a moment that year. It happened last year, but I had a moment that, I made it and I'm doing this shit. So I don't know, whatever you have in your head. Sorry, this chair's so fucking squeaky. But whatever you have in your head, like, hey, that could happen for you too. So it was just a cool moment. So I'm very, very grateful that that was a long time coming. So that was nice. I also, so far, I've played 26 shows this year. 26 shows. I played the East Coast and the West Coast and some of the Midwest and middle of the country and the South. I played Texas. It's been cool. I was able to do a co-headline with Ollie. That was always a dream of mine, to be in some sort of a headline position. So definitely dope. Was able to see more of the country. That's cool. Was able to go talk to the listeners, people that are listening to this podcast right now. Man, how cool is it to go out and meet you guys? I talked about the touring on the last episode, but yeah, can't believe I'm doing it. This is always a dream of mine to be a guy that was touring. So it's amazing. Hit 1 million monthly listeners on Spotify and on YouTube. Fuck. A big thing this year was like, hey, I'm trying to get the streams up. I'm trying to expand. I'm always trying to grow year over year. And I've hit 1 million monthly listeners on Spotify before, but that was because I had a big moment. Maybe something went viral on social media or had like a big pop. And this is the first time where my gradual growth hit that mark. So if you can't see me right now because you listen to the audio, I'm moving my hand upwards diagonally, kind of like a chart and a graph. My growth in my career has just been a slow, steady, upward trend over time, over a long period of time. And within that, sometimes you have big spikes. Some moments happen. Oh, you went viral here, or like, oh, you got on a song with this person here, and you go up. This is the first time where my low became the norm. And so that's exciting because that feels real to me. It doesn't just feel like a moment in time where it just popped up. Now it feels like my gradual growth is hitting this mark. And so that's really exciting for me. I'm happy with that. And I think a part of that has to do with the consistency I was talking about earlier, like releasing a song weekly. I think it's important. I think a lot of artists just aren't consistent. Like, I've been noticing that a lot of artists will like drop an album and kind of fall off and maybe not say anything, not do anything for a little bit. So I don't know. I think it's important to keep up the consistency. And so was able to get 1 million monthly listeners on Spotify and YouTube Music. Shout out to YouTube Music. Thank you to all the YouTube listeners that are checking out the music. It's fucking amazing. On top of that, you may have noticed I switched up my Instagram. So for those who don't know, like, I've been doing comedy shit my whole life. I was class clown in high school. I've been making funny videos on YouTube since I was a kid. I was a part of a YouTube channel in my neighborhood where we made funny videos, doing pranks and shit like that. I had a Vine account where I was doing funny stuff in college. So I've been doing comedy forever and just being a goofball. Like, I'm a goofy person. At heart, I'm a funny guy. I'm very lighthearted. I'm always making jokes, making light of situations. And I wanted to showcase more of that on socials because I feel like my content before was just all like, make a song in 10 minutes. Fucking had it like, me and Kyle making beats and making music. And like, that's a great time and everything, but it didn't perform as well on social media. And I was like, bro, I remember seeing in Kyle Beats videos, people would always comment, yo, Matt's low-key funny, or like Matt's like, I like his personality and like he's more outgoing than I thought. And so I'm like, all right, I need to showcase this a little more. So that's what I did. I started showcasing that more on online. And so on Instagram, I've been taking over this funny character and like doing skits and playing with that. And so that's been a lot of fun this last couple months. And I'm excited about expanding upon that. And because, I want to get into acting one day. I think it'd be pretty cool to do some acting, think I could do it. Think I could pull it off. So I want to keep on building out that vertical of funny content, doing funny shit. And also it's more fun to make. It's just like lighthearted. It's just jokes. It's like, it's a good time knowing that my social media is making people laugh and entertained. I don't necessarily need to be the guy to try to impress you with my microphone videos, just rapping at the camera. Like, bro, that's like authentically, that's like, obviously I do that, but I just feel inauthentic being a super serious rapper guy with the microphone. It's like, bro, that's not me. It's like, I make music and I'm a rapper and I love, that's a huge part of me, but I'm also very playful. And so I don't know. I feel like I've been more myself with socials now. So that's been fun. That's something I wanted to focus on this year, is just becoming more aligned with who I am on social media. And restarting the podcast too. Restarted the pod. You're listening now. If you made it this far, thanks for listening. I've been doing the podcast for a couple of years, and I took a break from it for years too. And this is fun because this is like one, it's good for my mental health because I get to come on here and just vent and just talk for like 20 minutes. And it's almost like journaling. So it's cool. And then you get to listen to it, which is amazing. You know, I feel like it deepens the connection between the creator and the listener. And this is fun. I just want people to know too, I have a whole vision for this. So check this out. Long term, like obviously I'm making music. Obviously I'm doing the skits. But the podcast vertical, I'm going to focus on very heavily. So right now I'm currently looking for places to build out a studio out here in Miami where I'm going to host the podcast out of. I'm going to have guests on here. This is a huge vertical of mine that I want to explore because as I get older, I'm realizing that, you know, the music is a young man's game. And, you know, I just turned 30, so it's not like I'm old as fuck. But podcasting you can do forever. Look at Pat McAfee. Look at Joe Rogan. Look at Theo Vaughn. These guys 40 years old, 50 years old, and they have these platforms that last forever. All you got to do is sit down talking to a microphone. And I think I can do it. I really think I can do it. I think I can do a good job at interviewing people. You know, I've interviewed Aaron Carter before. I think I can pull it off. So I'm gonna explore the same feeling I had with music when I was rapping early on, and I was like, yo, I think I can do this shit professionally. I think I can make it my job. I have the same feeling as podcasting. So I'm gonna build out this vertical heavy, and I know what to do. I pretty much, I think I know what to do, and I know where I'm going to fit into the podcasting lane that others aren't. I know the gap that I'm going to fill. I'm going to be that person that has these authentic conversations with entrepreneurs and like-minded people as myself, and it's going to be a little lighter. It's going to be on the self-help stuff, but it's going to be a little lighter, and it's just going to be everything Matt Corman, authentically me. That's what the conversations are going to be like, with very interesting people. And through music and through comedy, I've been able to build up my network. That's the other thing I was realizing. I'm like, man, I've done good business with everybody. I have a good, strong network. I can call some people, some real motherfuckers, some like real entrepreneurs, some real CEOs of these startups, and like people in the industry. People are going to want to hear from these, you know, I have connections to fucking every major label. You know what I mean? I could tell you the insides out. I call songwriters that have written massive hit songs. I think it'd be cool to have these people on and have conversations that I want to have. Because sometimes I hear people have these people on podcasts and I'm like, man, you're not asking the shit that I want to hear. You're not having the conversations I want to hear out of these people. So I think that I can be that person, and I'm going to be that person. So I'm excited to build out the podcast. It's going to be a huge goal of mine for the next year. So thank you for staying with me on it. And if you're here too, you've also been a part of this journey with me from like the beginning. Like I know that I could be on like episode 1,500, like how Rogan is 10 years from now with the podcast. And you're here watching me do this in my studio room, in my apartment. It's like going to be cool to be a part of the journey. And so in knowing that, if you have any suggestions, let me know, because I'm still independent through and through everything. So I need help, especially from the people that listen to what the fuck I do. And it's like the podcast is not getting that much attention, and I know that. So it's like, if you're here, clearly you give a fuck enough. So feel free to toss some insight into whatever the fuck you're thinking I could do to expand upon this thing. Also along that, and talking about like brand expansion, I'm going to be launching my merch line, which I've been talking to a few people for a while now, but I haven't really spoke about it publicly. But I guess I could say the name of it. It's called Bricklayer Supply Co. And I'm excited about that because the reason I chose that name was I've built this career of mine brick by brick. And I feel like there's a big relation in my music with people that are hard workers, blue collar people, that are able to, you know, maybe you weren't born into a situation, you know, that this got you access to whatever you're trying to do right away. Like, look, for an example, I built this brick by brick in a blue collar way. I'm not a Nepo baby. I didn't get born in Beverly Hills in LA or New York City. I didn't come from a rich family. everything that I've gotten in life is through hard work and being persistent with everything and being consistent and being able to advocate for myself. Me, and shout out to Alex too, Maven. He, we've just been in rooms with people and been not afraid to make to make an introduction or to speak up and talk to people and shake people's hands and be like, yo, like, let's network, and let's drive out here. Let's fucking use our last dollars to get into this room with these people, or let's put out songs. Example, I put out so much music. Some people ask, like, why did you put out so many songs? Like, I didn't have a choice. And I didn't get a big record deal. I didn't have a situation that was going to work for me. So I had to just outwork people. That's my whole method. I was like, fuck it, I'm just going to outwork everybody. Same thing I feel about with the content right now and the funny stuff. It's like, I'm just going to fucking post a reel every day. I'm just going to outwork people. And that's the vibe with Bricklayer Supply Co. and the brand, where I feel like people can relate to that, where it's like, hey, if you're the type of person that's working hard and you've been grinding your whole life, and you're somebody who's building brick by brick in your life, you can see it trending upwards and maybe plateau every now and then, but that's the message behind the brand. And I'm excited to wear it. We're going to have these new designs rolling out. I've been working on designs for a while with a team, and it's going to be great. I'm working with a company that's going to handle all the logistics and the quality of the material. And so it's going to be high quality stuff, and I'm excited about pushing the line forward. And so if that resonates with you, you're going to love this shit. And so I'm so excited to start rolling that out over the next year or so. And yeah, I like to say things like, I know this is a recap on like my last 6 months, but I also like to tell people what I'm trying to do moving forward. They say that songs are like spells. The more people that hear them, the more likely whatever you said in the song is to come true. And I've seen it happen. So that's why they say be careful about what you write down. Be careful about what you put into words and what you put into your music. So like, for example, I've journaled things, for people that follow me that intently know that I journal, and there are things in my journal that have come true now that I've written years ago, and it continues to happen. Manifestation, journaling, these are all real things. It's not like what if maybe if I write down these things every day, like they're gonna come true. It's like if you set intentions and then put actions behind it, they're more likely to come true. We all know that we're all made up of atoms, and everything is energy. You've heard this, particles move, right? And you've heard of probably the double slit theory. And if you haven't, I can go into that maybe another time, but everything is energy. And so if I tell you I'm going to do something, you hear that person, then it becomes more energy in life. If I tell you, hey, my plan is to launch Bricklayer Supply Co. Hey, my plan is to make this podcast as big as I possibly can. You heard that information, and then now it's in your subconscious. That turns into energy. That's more energy in the world. Now imagine if I tell 10 million people that thing and write it down and then meditate over it and pray over it, then I'm more likely to take actionable steps to make that result come true, make that outcome happen. And so I think it's important. That's why I'm telling you. This is why I put this shit out there. It's not because I want people to think I'm cool for doing this shit. It's to help me. I'm telling you all my plans and goals right now so that I am more inclined to do it. I'm held accountable to do it. I have to take actionable steps to do it, or else I look like a fucking fool. Imagine if I came on here in 2024 and was like, yeah, I'm releasing a song every week, and I didn't. I released 6 songs this year, or a song this year, or nothing. I didn't go on any tours. I didn't do anything. People would think I'm a fucking joke. I'm putting myself out there and telling you what I'm going to do in the future. I'm taking the risk of letting people down and looking like a fool, looking like an idiot, because it is more incentivizing to not. It's going to encourage you. So tell people your plans. Tell people your goals. Successful people do that. You go into a board meeting, they tell you the outline for the company. What's the projection? What are we going to be working on this year? You should be viewing that as your life. That's what I do. It's like, I want to run a marathon. So far this year, I've ran 180 miles this year. This is the most I've ever ran in an entire year. It's July. So far, this is the most I've ran in an entire year. I plan on running 300 miles this year and then running my first marathon. I want to run the Boston Marathon. I want to run the New York City Marathon. I can do it. I'm going to do it. And if I don't do it, then I just sounded like a fucking idiot, right? Everything I just said is false. I look like a fucking fraud. But I'm going to do it. So I'm not worried about looking like a fraud. I'm not worried about how it appears, because I told you I'm going to do something, and I'm a man of my word, so I'm going to do it. It's important to do that. I think that more people should start telling people their goals. And I think that it would help a lot of people if they started writing shit down. Another thing I want to note too, I've been getting closer to God this year. I did go to high school at a Catholic high school, and it kind of made me, honestly, did the opposite of making me interested in religion and God. It pushed me away from it. And this year, I've gotten closer to God, and I've seen it help my life tremendously, for sure. So, not to try to push it on anybody, but I believe in God, and I think that God has helped me 1,000%. And I am very grateful. Every morning I wake up and I'm grateful, and I'm thanking God for this life that I have, and he helping me build, and having the Holy Spirit within me, and being a man of God helps me. I'm a better person. I treat people better. I make wiser decisions in my life. God has helped me so much. And so if you're still listening to this 20 minutes in, I advise you to try to get closer to God. I found a great church out here. I go every Sunday, and it's helped so much, I'm telling you. And I think it's so cool to have something as well. You know, it's cool to hear stories from people that have gotten closer to God and hear how much God has helped their life. And it's a real thing. You know, obviously believe what you want. I'm not going to push it on a lot of people, but I'm definitely going to spread the message and the word as best as I can, because it's helped me. So I feel like a part of my duty as a creator and somebody puts themselves out there on the internet constantly is to spread what has worked in my life, in hopes that it helps you. Because I know, look, there's a couple thousand people that are going to listen to this episode. A couple hundred people on YouTube are going to watch it. But still, what if out of 2,000 people, 2 people hear this episode and they're like, you know, I've been thinking about getting closer to God, and then they do, and then it helps their life. What if one person listens to this and goes, oh, Matt talked about his 6 months and what he did this 6 months. Man, I'm going to recap my 6 months. I'm going to check out if what I did is making any progress. Because if you don't track anything, you can't measure anything. You don't know how well you're doing. So you got to track. And so that's what I'm trying to do here. I'm just trying to help people. I'm not trying to make myself look cool or look any certain way. I don't care about that. If you can't tell, my whole life's on the internet. I've been judged my entire life. Literally. I make, funny content. I'm judged. I either laugh at it, you don't. I put out music, you either like it or you don't. I don't care. I don't need to look cool anymore. I'm secure in myself. I don't need that approval. I'm doing this to help. Genuinely. I don't make any money off the podcast. So if you're listening this far in, thank you for listening. I appreciate you. And I'm hoping to build this more and more together. About to have a good day. I filmed some content, dropped some content. I'm about to go to the gym, and I journaled earlier. I'm excited. I'm excited about what's to come, and I'm excited about releasing these next round of songs. So Go Ahead I just dropped, and it's already at 50,000 streams. It's my most streamed song in that short amount of time. I mean, I dropped it on Friday. It's Wednesday. It hasn't even been a week. 50,000. Huge. Solo. Independent. It's amazing. So thank you guys for listening so much. And if you made it this far, thanks for tuning into the podcast. If you guys have any ideas for this as I scale it out, feel free to let me know. Shoot me a text. My number is in the bio. My number is also my Instagram. I respond to everybody. And yes, it's actually me texting you. Shoot me a DM on Instagram. If you don't want to text me, that's cool too. I open up everything. And I'm just appreciative that people take the time to view my content and listen to what I have going on, and maybe listen to me rant for a little bit and check out the music. So thank you. I appreciate you. Stay tuned for Bricklayer Supply Co. I'm going to drop a new podcast episode probably next week. So yeah, I'm excited. You can make shit happen. I'm excited for you. Let me know your goals if you want. Let's get closer. And yeah, I hope you have a great day. Thanks for tuning in to another episode of the Matt Corman podcast. Peace.